Hello and welcome to Bell Curve Gaming. Today I'm bringing you a Carracosta Aerodactyl deck. Now, I was trying to build just a Carracosta deck, but I kind of figured that he probably needs some support. So we brought Aerodactyl along for the ride, and we'll explain why we brought Aerodactyl in a moment. So Carracosta, let's focus on what he does. He's got this ability that turns off tool cards, which is kind of nice and kind of handy. So as soon as you got him into play, your opponent's tools just don't take effect anymore. So if they've got Jirachi dependent, well, that kind of makes that a little bit awkward. If they're running a lot of tags, that kind of, you know, eliminates those. So yeah, this is a kind of nice little ability to have with the Carracosta. And then we've got the Aqua Impact. So we're fighting double colorless, which is kind of an awkward energy cost to have to pay. Does 80 base damage, which is pretty meh, and then extra 20 for each value in their retreat cost. So if they've got a retreat cost of 2, it's doing 120. If it's got a retreat cost of 3, it's doing 140. So we're after big heavy Pokemon, preferably with the Carracosta. What is kind of nice here is he does one-shot ReshiZard, because ReshiZard has 3 retreat cost. So initially I was looking at Absol. With a lot of tag teams running around, I figured this could partner quite nicely with the Absol. However, I was just finding it was too awkward to pay his attack cost and get him out and set up all at the same time. So our partner we've gone with instead is Aerodactyl, and primarily because of this Primal Winds ability. So the Primal Winds, as long as this Pokemon's your active Pokemon, your opponent's basic Pokemon's attack costs 1 more. So we're just trying to slow down our opponent. Plus, we can get some nice chip damage on, so it's 120 damage with the base, but of course we've got the Martial Arts Dojo, so any basic fighting energy attached to our Pokemon, well, that does an extra 10, but of course if we're behind, that's an extra 40 damage, so suddenly we're hitting for 160, so yeah, the extra 40, so that's kind of nice, and plus he's got a nice GX attack that we can use every now and again. So if they load up a Pokemon with a ton of energies, we can Wild Dive GX and smash through that Pokemon. And obviously they're going to have to attach 1 extra if they're a basic Pokemon. So that's what we're looking at with the Aerodactyl. Trying to slow down our opponent, make it awkward, and provides us with a nice alternative attacker. Plus, it's hitting Fighting Weakness, and Fighting Weakness is great against Pigaroms and Dark Box. So there are some decks that are floating around online at the moment as well. Now, we do need some kind of Pokemon that we can start the game with, so we've gone with Jirachi here with Stellar Wish. So just great for setting it up, and we're not actually going with the fossil route. We're more after Stellar Wishing and finding our way into this research lab as early as we can. We need this on our first turn. This deck really depends on getting this research lab first turn. So we've got 4 research labs, plus we've got a stadium nav, plus we've got 3 Bill's analysis, plus we've got Jirachi that we're guaranteed to start in the active, all designed to try and get that research lab. Now, the stadium nav, that theoretically has a 75% chance of finding it if we start it. If you're me, that's generally about a 10% chance, because I literally flipped double tails with this 6 times. Like, that's nuts, 6 times. So safe to say I don't like stadium nav. But anyway, theoretically it should get you a stadium 75% of the time, which is, you know, kind of handy because we need to get that stadium out as quickly as possible. Now we've got Poke Gears to go and chase down welders, Bill's Analysis, or any other supporter. We've got a couple of Cynthia and a Tate and Liza as well. Doubles as draw and switch, and that's our draw engine. And then we're also running 1 unidentified fossil. Now I added this to it simply because I was finding that often you're able to attack from turn 2, and often you need to probably start attacking turn 2 just to keep up with things, especially if they take our Jirachi immediately on their first turn. So the unidentified fossil allows us to get another 3rd attacker up. So if we needed, like, as long as we got our Pokemon Research Lab, that gets 2 fossils straight onto our bench, stage 1 fossils that is, and then our unidentified fossil that we've got in deck somewhere can provide us a 3rd attacker. So it just allows us a little bit of flexibility to get into more attackers. Other than that, we've got Martial Arts Dojo, like I mentioned. That just increased our attack, especially when we're behind. And then Welder is absolutely huge here because double colors energy is obviously rotated, and that's how we need to pay our Carracosta's awkward attack costs. So we're running 7 fire energy and 5 fighting energy to go along with it. So let's begin. Hello Thornton, welcome. The stadium card has me a little bit worried. We might like madly thin as much as we can here. So what we're going to thin is we're going to thin these two. Go and get ourselves some energies. We're going to energy spinner, then we're going to poker gear. So energy spinner. Go and get a fighting energy out. Poker gear. Just another welder. Alright, well, welder's the backup plan. If you fail me, Jirachi. If you don't fail me, excellent. Well done, Jirachi. Alright, lab's down. I'm feeling pretty good about that turn. What do we want here? Water. Feeling water. Although, I need a guarantee attacker on the next turn. This guarantees me an attacker, so we'll grab one of each. Oh, it doesn't guarantee me attacker, it's if I get a switch out. If I don't get a switch out... Ah, brutal. Brutal. Alright, so we're probably looking at another research lab turn. I'm feeling. Especially now I see Vulpix down on the floor, like down here as well. Interesting they're using ReshiZard to charge. So yeah, we want lots of Tortoigas here. Especially now we're seeing Vulpix as well. Lots of Tortoiga. Big time. Self-charging. So let's think about this. What could help me with the Jirachi? Energy Spinner helps a bit. Doesn't help greatly. Or we could Cynthia out of this instead of Bills. I like Bills more. I like Bills more. Then we'll run the Bills. There's the welder. The skateboard if I need it. Energy Spinner guarantees me a fighting energy on the next turn. I don't have a guarantee into... I feel like the player's Energy Spinner. And just accept this Jirachi goes down. Yep, alright, that's what we'll do. Energy Spinner. Go and get a fighting energy. Chuck the fighting to you at this stage. And go and get another couple of you down. There's a test for who you want to prioritise with the Alola Ninetales if you go that way as well. And you have to put 2 more energies on this if you want to pick off an Aerodactyl. But if you put more energies on, the Aerodactyl can pick you off as well. Okay, gonna go into the Vulpix. Slow turn. I wasn't expecting that. Have to admit, I wasn't expecting that of all things. So we'll weld up these two to the Aerodactyl. This makes it awkward. We'll go and get ourselves out. Oops, go and get you. Carracosta. We do have 3 of you. Got 1 of you down. And right here, Stellar Wish, got a board. That was lucky. Suppose I could have used the NG attachment, but prefer not to. How many fire NG have I binned? 1. Okay. NG attach here. Retreat to you. And for the moment, we're just going to Boulder Crush. Take out the Vulpix. So these are NG hungry Pokemon. That's something I do like about them. The Carracosta can get to that ReshiZard still. It's Giant Earth, that's fine, because then that allows me some welder action, guaranteed. So you're going to go to this guy. It's going to be interesting. Nah. Gonna go to the backline ReshiZard, okay. So you could come in swinging with ReshiZard here. Although no, you can't. So you're probably putting it to me. Do you want to be clutch? A custom catcher. Another custom catcher would be huge here. So, what don't we want? I'm feeling like we want to keep the Turtoiga as like a just in case. The Liza's probably not that important. So we'll get rid of the Liza. Go and get another couple of NGs. Although we could GX and get this because you attach to yourself for some reason. I don't know why. So we'll get rid of these 2 onto User. And there's another Carracosta, so we're feeling really good about things. Fire Crystal and Welder sitting in hand, ready to roll. And now we'll just Wild Dive, smack you out. I thought for sure you were going to the ReshiZard, but anyway. And we've kind of got 2 Carracostas ready to roll as well. I mean, I'm trying to think your outs right now is to get the Carracosta up and reset Stamp Me and hope that I don't get out of it. And probably replace the Giant Earth Stadium at the same time. It's probably something else you need to do. But yeah, you had to go 5 NGs on just to get the KO on the Aerodactyl. It's a lot of NGs committed. Evolutions. This might be a Flareon deck as well. Didn't realise there was an Eevee in that set, to be honest. Nice artwork though. Alright, well we've kind of got it. Hang on, I've got to make sure. Do you actually one-shot ReshiZard? 3 sets, 80, 100, 140, hitting for weakness. Yeah, you do. Cool. I've never actually bothered looking at it. So, Aqua Impact, smack you out, and that's game. I just assumed you did. Like, that's literally all I assumed. I had double custom catcher prized. But yeah, I never actually looked at it until that point, because this is the first time I played ReshiZard. So, hello Zekrom, welcome. There's the inherent trouble with fossil decks, I'm afraid. Is you tend to mulligan a bit. Tell you what, fossil decks could be really tricky to play. It going first in the future with the new rule change. Could be, I don't know. 5 mulligans. Told you that's the inherent problem. That is a huge boost to give my opponent. Huge boost. And we got TinaChomp. You can't set up off of a 5 mulligan turn. TinaChomp Deoxeon. Just maybe you're going heavier on the Deoxeon than I would have imagined. I need to hit that stadium so bad. I mean real bad. So probably Fiery Flint. Get rid of potentially these two. Just thin the deck as much as I can. Is custom catching good here to delay time? I don't know. Let's just see what I've got happening here. Go and get ourselves as many NGs as possible. Thin as much as I can. I like with Stellar Wish first and find where I'm at. Because if this hits a stadium, then this we could be looking at bills. This hits a stadium. Now we go with Welder. Sorry, if this hits stadium, we could be looking at Welder. That's what I wanted to say. Alright. The question here, can I deal with like these 40 pokes? The 40 pokes are going to be really annoying. I think putting something else away, like out, that we can hit into, might be better. Just to try and delay some time, which we're going to do. I don't like doing this. But I think we've got to. Just to try and bias time and bias turns. I'm going to grab both. Well, I've only got one Tortoiga. The reason I'm grabbing both is this is very likely to have a lot of tags in it. Like spell tags. And turning them off could be very relevant in this. And there is a reasonable chance we're not attacking the next turn. So we'll go and pull in some more Aerodactyl for the setup side of things. Alright, so we'll Welder these two to the Aerodactyl. Got our Carracosta. Like we're wanting a Stellar Wish here. More Welder for the next turn. I think so, because we're not attacking here, so more Welder for the next turn. That's what we'll go with. Kind of got our Carracosta, so a second Jirachi down's not the end of the world. We'll energy attach here, because we got the Fire Crystal to chase something back if I want. Am I going to attack with you? Maybe. But you get one-shotted. At a stretch, maybe. I like keeping these for now is probably the better option. So we'll just go and get one more Aerodactyl out. Cool. And leave it there. Hope you don't have a switch. I am worried about the 3 extra fighting. Because discarding my Pokemon would be pretty brutal. I mean, gusting that up with tons of energy on there would be absolutely golden. But we'll see. Alright, well, done. These two to the Aerodactyl. We get another board. The chances of this, what's it gotta be? It's gotta be that, nah, we got nothing. Alright, so we're fighting energies short at the moment. Back this to you. Retreat. Stellar Wish. There's the energy spinner. You had to get it to me now, didn't you? Oh yeah, we can only get one, can't we? That's right. Might leave that in there just in case you decide to reset stamp me right now. And there's no harm in chucking the other Jirachi down because I've got no way to get anything else on. So we're good, just to leave it there. So we're attacking on the next turn at least. So that's good. Although there is harm because I'm playing Deoxeons. You can put 200 damage counters on. But I've got 2 Jirachi out there already, so... Got the switch finally. So this just takes out the Jirachi. I can go with a linear attack instead. Interesting call. Do I want to get damage counters on you? Attack with this guy. I think that's the smarter play. Get damage counters onto you and just hold this hand at the moment. Yeah, so energy spinner. Go and get ourselves a fighting energy. Get the fighting energy to you. Stellar Wish. Pokecombs doesn't do me much good. Fiery Flint doesn't do me any good whatsoever. I'll grab that. So at the moment, we'll retreat to this Aerodactyl. And we'll now Boulder Crush just to get 120 damage on this guy. I like keeping the custom catches. You're out of range, aren't you? Oh no, you're 200 damage. You're a GX attack away still. So you have to find another great potion. And you got it. Ouch. So you're back out of range. That's annoying. That's significantly annoying. Well, fighting in GTU for now. Just have to Boulder Crush again. I kind of want to keep the custom catches. Boulder Crush. We've got to get rid of this threat. Getting worried about that Deoxeon as well. Do you have a free retreater? Not at the moment. That's that guy gone. We've got to start setting up an another attacker behind this Aerodactyl. Should Which means I wouldn't want a welder or something. Can you find welder for me? We can stamp him. Oh, you can find welder. That's brilliant. Alright. The problem is with the Aerodactyl prized, makes it super awkward. So we'll fire crystal. Welder here. So this guy. So we are behind, but we don't need it necessarily. Wouldn't have minded the fighting energy, because that could have nearly got there. 3. It would have got there. But we missed on the fighting energy, so it's going to have to comms this away. And go and get ourselves out another Carracosta. Just have to see, I guess. Retreat. This guy. And right now, don't want to play anything else. We do have to GX to get this. Unless you've got 130 left, don't you? Oops. In fact, no, we'll just fighting dojo and go this way. We don't want a GX to get it if we don't have to. Whack you out. So now you decide to join the party. Didn't find the other Aerodactyl. That's something I was concerned about, is the reset stamp. But I really desperately wanted to keep a hold of those for options if I could. I've got the fighting NG. Cross Division DX, won't get it. I wanted to keep hold of those custom catches if I could. I think we flip into the Carracosta after this. Gotta try and keep the Aerodactyl alive. 150, 160. You go down in a one-shot, which is painful. And you most certainly do have enough Psychic Energy in the bin to make sure that happens. And the worst thing is you go down to one shot and it doesn't activate my martial arts dojo either. Although he didn't attack. Interesting call. Very interesting call. Alright, well, we'll stadium nav. Martial Arts Dojo is not doing a lot for me at the moment, but it could come in clutch, just fix numbers up. The Pokemon Research Lab could be very important. I don't know. Oh, you didn't attack because you didn't have enough energies on him. Yeah, of course. Retreat. Oops, retreat to the Carracosta. What we're going to do is we're just going to Aqua Impact because I need to keep my Aerodactyl alive. And puts him under the pump anyway. I mean, you can theoretically get into the attack with the Espeon Deoxys there. Or the Necrozma, which would be huge for you. That'd be the better attacker here. Paying the retreat and going into him instead. Which might mean... Oh, not even paying the retreat. That's painful. Double customs is probably my only hope now. Trying to build that up. Let's bills. I don't even know if double customs is in the deck, to be honest. NG spinner. Got a fighting NG as we can. Then retreat to this Jirachi here. Still a wish. Got one customs. And then leave it there. Hope that you don't have the double customs. I think there's too many Psyche on the board for you to try and get into that GX attack right now. And claim what you need to. But having said that, I probably need double customs right here. And realistically, I've probably got Bills and Jirachi to get it. So Jirachi, what can you do? You can't find it. Bills, what can you do? You can find it. Thank you, Bills. Alright, what you got there? Go and bring this one back up. And then retreat to Aerodactyl. And Wild Dive. Smack out the Espeon Deoxys. Wow, those customs were so clutch there. Absolutely clutch. Maybe I shouldn't have really spent them that early either. Just to give myself options later. But GG's, GG's. Hello, Leftover Whack. Welcome. Feeling like this is MewMew. Really feeling that. Just the one mulligan, that's not too bad. Welder engine, got the Poker Labs, that's really good. Got the Fiery Flint, which is nice. Definitely MewMew. Kind of want to thin. Kind of want to keep the Pokecoms. We're weldering on the next turn, so we'll get rid of the Cynthia and a Fire NG. Go and get ourselves a heap of fires. And then we'll Jirachi pull. And out of this, Bills is most relevant. So we're not weldering anymore. Would have loved to have found my fossil there, because then I could have just welded straight to it. That's pretty relevant. Feel like you could KO me straight away. So the martial arts dojo might be pretty relevant. Stamping's nice. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It gets one less card to play with overall. Let's grab the dojo. Whack the labs out. And right here, do we want to chuck the board on? We could get stamped, so yeah, let's do that. I feel like this guy's likely to go down anyway. Grab one of you, grab one of you. I feel like hedging the bets a little bit there. Oh, there's a high chance that you go down. A very high chance. With the MewMew. And And with the Tortuga there, I wouldn't be surprised if I don't see ReshiZard hit the bench. I mean, I could. But you'd probably be a little bit more concerned about just benching ReshiZard's 6 energies. I've only got 1 left in deck at most anyway at this stage. I feel like you've probably got Welder. Yeah. What kind of attack are you going to have with it? You need to protect the bench. Deoxeon. Okay. It's enough to get the Jirachi, unfortunately. Oh no, you resist it. Okay, that's enough. It's unfortunate. See what the next turn has in store for you though. Take this down. Martial Arts Doja. I mean, I need to hit a fighting energy. That's something that's desperation. So one of the top 4 cards has to be a way into a fighting. You've got free retreat, so I'll put you up no matter what. Burn the poker gear. Grab the Liza. If there is a fire energy in the deck, I want it out now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is not. Okay. It's just what I wanted to know. So there's 5 fighting and 1 energy spinner, so I'll prize a spinner. Well done. What are you going to find me? Are you going to pull me up some absolute magic here? You do. Find me the fighting. Let's get that down. Let's get that down. Let's get that down. The lack of attackers, though, which is really, really bad. We'll Boulder Crush just to get 120 on. Force at least another energy attachment to you to use Deoxeon's attack. The only thing is you're 1 psychic energy away from being able to use Miraculous Duo, but you would need at least 1 extra energy above that to heal all damage, so I make it awkward at least for that. You'd have to welder onto it and attach a psychic. At which point you'd be at 5, and my Aerodactyl with martial arts could get there. And I can Cynthia looking for another martial arts if you try any shenanigans. I mean, Shrine with that would be pretty clutch. That would be pretty clutch. Ear-ringing bell's annoying. It's just a nuisance card. I need to find my fossil to start getting my other Aerodactyls up. I need to play more Aerodactyl-y in this rather than using your line, I feel. So I haven't seen anything else that I'm really super worried about yet. I mean, you've got the Psychic Club, you've got the Cross Division. that you can use. Custom to draw. And Cyclops only putting 10 damage counters on, which can hit my backline, hit a Jirachi out maybe, or the Turtwig. But leaves the Aerodactyl here, which is sounding pretty good to me. And getting rid of this MewMew would be... that does sound pretty good to me. Pretty huge to me. You are going to Miraculous Duo, just to get the 200 on. So you're only chip damage away now. That turns off that. That's like coming in the nick of time here. Feeling like this NG goes to the Carracosta. It's unfortunate. So my game plan from there was to dig for that fossil. Dig for that fossil card, bad. Hello Bubs, welcome. It's like, oh, one like Jirachi slot there, and this is just a gun first hand. In fact, even on the bills it would have been fine. And that is my definition of not a guns first start. Anything but an absolute gun first hand. Don't have the stadium, we can thin a bit. I think we're gonna have to thin pretty hard. I actually think we even thin the NG spinner. Fire Crystal can be pretty important. Especially against Spiritomb. Absol down is annoying. Super annoying. So we're gonna need to NG attach to you. Let's get rid of the Fire Crystal. Just because what I can then do is thin another NG out. Because we need to try and get that stadium card right here, right now. Otherwise we're in a lot of trouble. We get the stadium, that's fine. We don't have any draw next turn, but that's future Shaun's problem. We'll let that guy deal with that. Go Fire NG to you. Keep in mind I don't have any recovery of Fire NG. Got enough Fighting NG, we'll just... theoretically. What's going to be better against Spiritomb? Aerodactyl. I feel like Aerodactyl is for the simple reason that you're going to need 2 NGs to attack. And that could make this extremely awkward for you. The shrines are painful. Got plenty of stadiums to try and oust that. Now, Jirachi, you need to just find a welder. You do that, you've done your job. Just find welder. Mind you, you're 1 rainbow NG away from taking my Jirachi out, which is another huge concern. Got many concerns. Many concerns. Put some spite. Do you have the rainbow NG? Certainly got the hustle belt. No rainbow NG. That's what I like to see. So Carracosta could come in handy here just to get rid of that. Now you desperately need to find welder. Excellent. Alright, everything else is just future Shaun's problem. Get rid of those 2 onto you. Get a fighting NG to you. We'll just empty these. Get that out. And right now, retreat to you. And we've got to take this guy out because he's got the NG. Boulder Crush. So the evolution is deadly. That's saying that is deadly. If you can find a way into it. And if you NG attach the back line, we go and chase it. No, NG attached in the front line. So you've got the evolution straight away. How much does that actually do? 120. So it's not KOing me. I'm saying that is good. Hopefully there's not another Eevee that hits. If there's another Eevee that hits here, we're in trouble. What I should have done was whack that board onto this guy, actually. I need another top deck of welder. And a fighting energy after that. Jinx, yep, that seems fair. Alright, basic Pokemon, don't care about that. Evolutions is what I'm worried about. So we just take out this guy. And go, how are you taking me out on the next turn? Stadium Nav, let's get our double tails. Oh, we didn't get double tails. I just get used to getting double tails. So right now, we just manually energy attach to you. We're kind of all in on the 2 Aerodactyl here. Whack out the evolution. Once again, ask the question, how are you getting the KO here? How are you accelerating 2 NGs to this guy? So I'm thinking he thinks he's got the KO. We might see a fold. Unless he's got a power plant. Power plant would be massive. And would be devastating for me. I mean, absolutely devastating. So no power plant. It's got a switch. No elms. But basically, we're just holding onto this hand to custom catch it. Anything that we see is, like when he NG attaches to the back line, just as a threat. So if he switches out here, we just custom catch this Spiritomb straight back. Yeah. Had a feeling we were seeing a fold there. And it is time to rate this deck, and starting with the damage. The damage is interesting because we do hit some relevant weaknesses in fighting and in water. So, you know, we are one-shotting ReshiZards with the Carracosta, we are one-shotting Pigaroms with the Aerodactyl, and also, you know, a lot of Dark Box as well, especially when we start putting Martial Arts Dojo, and especially if we're behind as well. So we do hit some relevant weaknesses. However, if we come up against something like an evolution deck, say Nidoqueen, which is something I did come up against, it makes it extremely awkward to negotiate. Now, you can try and, you know, tease it down over time, but that high HP, especially when they're discarding NGs as well, just means that we're not one-shotting them at all, and it just becomes a really, really awkward number to get over. And if you're two-shotting, especially when we're giving up 2 prizes, that becomes something to think about. So yeah, the damage, we're giving it a 7 out of 10, just because we do hit for some relevant weaknesses, and we are a 2-shot based deck. As for the defense, the Carracostas, they're nice, 160 HP, and they only give up 1 prize card, so that's kind of nice. But the Aerodactyl here, the ability Primal Winds, when we're up against basic decks, can be absolutely clutch about delaying our opponent long enough for us to try and power our way through or set ourselves up. So this is an absolute clutch ability and a clutch defensive strategy that we do have. So the Aerodactyls, Primal Winds, only give the defense a 7.5 out of 10 for this deck, because the numbers aren't all that massive to be able to get over in one shot in the modern format, but that Primal Winds can just slow down your opponent a little bit. As for reliability, well, this deck hugely relies on hitting this Pokemon Research Lab turn 1. and we might need to use it a couple of times. But if the opponent's setting up really, really quickly, we might not have enough time to, which is the reason why I've got this fossil here, to try and allow us to get a third attacker. I think I'd like to even fit a second fossil into it, just so we can get a couple of extra attackers going through the match as well if we don't have the time to use Pokemon Research Lab twice. That's something I'm thinking about, because that, you know, is a huge part of this deck. But we need to hit that Research Lab turn 1. If we do, that can be kind of nice, but then we've got to be thinking about how we maintain attackers right throughout. Another identified fossil I think might go good here. I don't know what for, which is kind of the reason why I've left it at 1 at this stage, because I was sort of getting away with it anyway. But reliability, I'm giving that a 7 out of 10. So overall, what do I think? It's interesting because my ratings are fairly low with the deck, but we hit some very relevant weaknesses. And I think that is the power of the deck. Hitting water and fighting weakness can set up a lot of, you know, good matchups in ReshiZard, in Dark Box, in Pigaroms, and things like that. If you're coming up against other types of matchups, we might find those a little bit more awkward. But, you know, there's some relevant matchups to hit, and it's a good fun deck to play. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10 just because of the relevant weaknesses that we're hitting at the moment.